morning everyone, and welcome to another little London vlog from the Triple J team. I have got the other two in front. Not being very talkative this morning. It is early. By now, if I've done it, you'll have seen live from either the London Eye and or the River Thames, if I can do it. If not, you'll have to make do with the vlog. But as I say, yeah, we've going on a coach from Royston up there. And as I say, yeah, next time you join us, well, I'll be doing a little bit of videoing on the way up there, but next time you join us properly, we'll be up in London. Cheers, guys. So we're underway, and obviously I've got the short straw that's sitting next to mum on the coach. She knows I'm only joking. You've seen the other two, but they are over there. They don't do much talking. They're miserable. Mum at least talks. She's got a talking role. Right, we will do some more photography as we go. So here we are at the London Eye here. It looks like a massive park in front. Look at these bloody pictures. Having a sunbathe over there. The rest of the crew are here. Julia, James, Mum. Oh, he's feeding the pigeons and the squirrels here. Bet they love all that. Big old park there. So I'll show you what we're going to be doing in a minute.
Should we go to London Cat?
Obviously you've got to be conscious as well of obviously Mum's pace. But here you can see the London Eye. Be on that a little bit later on. And in front there, you can see the blue. I think that is where you get the boats from. I'm pretty sure of that. Loads of places to sit, which is good, especially with Mother. And directly in front will be on the river. I'll show you the boats that will be going on. There's a geezer doing a bit of juggling over there. I don't know if you can see that, it's entertaining. Yep. Looks like the new Liverpool shirt there, good lad. Oh, Charlie Chaplin there. Okay, so that is where we're going to be doing the river cruise over there. You have to walk down that pier, and in the background you've got Big Ben, House of Parliament. There's the Eye right here, which we'll be on later. One of the many bridges. Okay, so we are just at the London Eye here. As I say, we will be getting on that a little bit later on. But we're right on top of it now, so just thought I'd show you how busy and manic it is here. I'm not going to say chaotic because I'm sure it's organised, but it certainly is busy. So we will wait and see what it's going to be like a little bit later on. There you see the massive supports and the Eye itself. Having to be careful I don't get in people's way at the same time. And this is exactly what I expected it to be like up here today, a bank holiday weekend, and it is very, very busy. I think this woman's got the right idea. Got a frog umbrella. James, look at me. So on the left hand side here, this is County Hall, also where you've got the Shrek Adventure. I think you've got the old London Dungeon here now as well, which of course has been moved. And directly in front you've got Westminster Bridge, which we will get to in a minute. Yeah, just looking out. That's a view now. Big Ben, Parliament, Westminster Bridge. I say this water's looking filthy. Unreal. Smile, James. Right, go. So we will keep going. James is a nightmare on the camera. An absolute nightmare. So as I said, yeah, got the London Dungeon here as well. Hasn't always been here. As I said, it was moved. I think it's much needed to talk a minute, guys. You can see exactly what's going on. Then you got the old Shrek Adventure and the old Sea Life Centre in front as well. So you can see there. And this is probably as busy as I've seen it up here for a long, long time. So if we can get in here for a picture, come back to you guys. As I said, the Shrek Adventure is there. And on the old left-hand side, it's got the old Sea Life Centre. I thought those two blokes were going to play cricket then. This one with the crew. So, yep, that's the entrance to the Sea Life Centre. Obviously they're advertising for Madame Tussauds here, but of course Madame Tussauds is at Baker Street, which is not here. 5-10 minutes on the tube maybe. Now, I think because we've got Mum with us, we will not be crossing over the Thames. Not unless we can find somewhere for her to perch, but we won't be. But I am going to go up to this door here, on the left-hand side up the steps, and I'm going to do that because it was famous for a James Bond film. Now, I'm not going to. Hopefully, Mum is not going to try and come up here. But I'm fairly confident she won't. But we will go out there. James and Mick managed to go out there. So this was the door in, what was it, Die Another Day? That old Brosnan went down to the secret underground Bond layer base. And that's it there. Alright. So we will come back down. I don't know where they just went. Oh, they're looking out onto the Thames. Very nice too. Yeah, see the old eye? You have to look where you're going whilst you're videoing. I tell you, it's a nightmare with steps. If you saw one of the more recent vlogs that I did of Ibiza, you'll see I almost died coming down some steps on the beach. The two girls contemplating how filthy the Thames looks.
Yes, that's just what I said to Julia.
It's terrible. It's really muddy and horrible. One of these rib boat experiences over there.
Or we might get a few waves back. Oh, there we go. Now those are tourists, those are not from London for you all. So let's begin our tour. Over on your right you will see the Palace of Westminster, or more commonly known as the Houses of Parliament. Now there have been palatial buildings on this site since the Anglo-Saxon era, and the monarchy have lived here up until Henry VIII. Now Henry VIII, well, he decided that the Palace of Westminster was not good enough for him, no. He decided to relocate to the Palace of Whitehall, giving Parliament over to Parliament. Now Parliament and government have been here up until 1834. Now you guys might be wondering, what happened in 1834? Well, I will tell you now. The Exchequer at the time, the guy in charge of the money, decided that it was a really smart idea, yeah, smart, to burn 2 cartloads of tally sticks in the underfloor stoves of that very building to your right. Yes, tally sticks are wood for you all, and as you guys can imagine, wood and fire, they do not mix. So as you can imagine, the entire Houses of Parliament burnt to the ground. And a couple of Londoners, well, they came to the other side of the river, and you guys might be wondering, are they going to help as their Parliament got burned to the ground? No, they are not. They're going to stand at the other side of the river and they're going to chant and cheer as loud as they can, burn Parliament, burn, yeah. Do you want to give it a go now? No, no takers. Yes, one man was even arrested for excessively cheering, but once again, that is the London spirit for you. So as we turn around, you'll be able to see some red and green Irwins, or as I like to call them, gazebos. Also behind you, you'll be able to see a lovely red bridge, that's Lambeth Bridge, and in front of you, you'll be able to see a lovely green bridge. Now there's a lot of colour coding in and around Parliament, a lot of red and green. If you go inside Parliament today, you'll see a lovely red and green cafe, a red and green bathroom, yeah, a red and green bathroom. You'll also be able to see a lot of red and green shops, and that is because we have 2 houses here in Parliament. We have the House of Lords, which are elected by the monarchy, and they sit and debate on red benches, and that red bridge was once their separate entrance into Parliament. We also have the House of Commons, that are publicly elected MPs. They sit and debate on green benches, hence all the green. And these 2 bridges were once meant to be their separate entrances, and all this colour coding and all this separation was there to avoid corruption. So there you go. But over on your left, you'll be able to see a really tall tower. That is the Victoria Tower. It was once the royal entrance into Parliament, as well as where we kept our archives since the 1400s. Yes, all our election ballot papers go inside that very tower to your left. We also have in the Central Tower, very easy name to remember. It once used to be a ventilation chimney, but before we got modern technology, it's now just a lovely tower in the middle. Now over on your left, you'll be able to see a very iconic clock tower, and I'm sure you guys know the very iconic name. So I'm going to do something. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, and then as loud as you can. I know it's been a long day, but shout out the name of what you think that clock tower on your left is. 1, 2, 3. I heard a very enthusiastic Big Ben, but I'm going to tell you, because you are unenthusiastic, you are all completely wrong. Yeah, I've got the correct answer over on my left. It is in fact called the Elizabeth Tower. It was named this in 2012 after our late Queen's Diamond Jubilee, marking 60 years on the throne of England. There you go. It's named after Sir Benjamin Hall, who was the Commissioner of Works at the time that bell was being built. So a little bit about Sir Benjamin Hall. He wasn't a very nice man. He was very loud, and he was a bit loud, and he wasn't nice to his co-workers. No, he was not, because they decided to name a very loud round bell after him. Let me tell you all, that is not a compliment. But moving on, over on your right, you will see the lastminute.com London Eye. It's my employers. It helps me get paid. We love them. It stands a staggering 135 metres tall above the River Thames, and it is the world's tallest cantilevered observation well, yeah? Cantilevered, that's a very fancy word for said being held up completely by one side. Don't worry, it's still very stable, and it is an observation wheel, might I add. It's not a Ferris wheel. I know you guys are thinking it looks like a Ferris wheel, but it is not. My bosses don't like me using the F word on board. It is not. It's an observation wheel. That's because it's got 32 glass capsules that go around the complete outside of the London Eye on a very sunny day, like this morning. And a bit today, we hope it's sunny today. You'll be able to see as far as 25 miles in each direction. However, if you find yourself on capsule number 33, because I did just say there were 32 capsules, please do not be alarmed. That is because we removed capsule number 13 to reassure our more superstitious guests. Well, we had capsule number 13, well, people threw a little bit of a fit. People did refuse to get on, so what we did is we took away the 1, we replaced it with a 3, and while we hope no one will notice, and no one has, so there you go. Also another story, in 1999 the London Eye was part of a really cool competition to pick the most iconic landmark to celebrate the millennium. And what a bit about that competition, the London Eye lost. Yeah, we came second place. We originally were not meant to be built, but we were very much sore losers. We hated to lose, and British Airways loved our design so much that they gave us £75 million. But here's the thing, we were just that popular that we made it back in just 2 years. So there you go, mine always come first, but second place is always the best. We're going under the Golden Jubilee Bridges in a second. You might recognise the metalwork because that is the same metalwork we used to build the London Eye. Yeah, we actually use and recycle. Oh, we've got a few waves. Hi guys. There's another bridge coming out there, so you can get more waves from there. Britain of 1951. So the Festival of Britain was a tonic to the nation after the events of the Second World War. It was a time where music, song and dance could uplift the people, and a couple of the buildings that survive include the Royal Festival Hall on your right, that is home to the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra now. So if we have anyone interested in classical music, any musically gifted people on board, I highly recommend the Royal Festival Hall out for you guys. We also have the Queen Elizabeth Hall as well as the Purcell Rooms that hold a plethora of really cool art galleries. Once again, if you're interested, highly recommend. But right in front of us or behind me, we have Waterloo Bridge. Waterloo Bridge is also my favourite bridge on the tour today, guys. Yeah. I know what you're thinking, she's got a favourite bridge, honestly. But it's also got another name. It's also called the Ladies Bridge. So with that, let's have a massive cheer for the ladies on board. There we go, energy. So it was built in 1945 when the men were away fighting, and it was built by a predominantly female workforce, yeah, and a little fact about that bridge in front of you is the only bridge in the City of London to be built on time, as well as under budget, yes, and I'll let you draw your own conclusions as to why. Let's go, girl. Building, yeah, it's a little bit ugly, but I can also call it ugly because the UK public actually voted that building to be on your right to be the most ugliest building you will find in Britain. Yeah, King Charles even described it like looking like the back of a nuclear power station. But it's built in the brutalist style of architecture, but it's actually called the National Theatre, or as we in London we like to call it the NT. Inside, it might be a bit ugly on the outside, but inside you'll find 3 beautiful theatres, the largest being the Olivier Theatre that was named after the first artistic director, Laurence Olivier. So the National Theatre is a great place to see West End quality theatre without, here's the catch, without paying those West End prices. Yes, we all love a bargain. I highly recommend the National Theatre over to your right. So right in front of us, we'll be able to see it a bit better, but you'll see a red brick building with an OXO on top. And for those of you who don't know, that was once owned by the company OXO. So OXO is a stock keep company. They kind of make little neat granulated dust, yeah, quite a British cuisine. You can kind of put it in stew, you can put it in gravy. In my household, I will warn you all, we're a little weird. We kind of just like to drink OXO from a mug. Yeah. Don't knock it till you try it, I highly recommend. But if you think that spells out the company name OXO, I'm going to tell you all, you're all in fact wrong. Because when that building was being built in the 1930s, skyline advertising was very much illegal. Because the River Thames is a royal highway and you cannot advertise on a royal highway. So as you can imagine, well, the OXO company, they got taken to court. But here's how the story goes. They had a very clever lawyer who argued court. This does not spell out our company name, no. That is randomly geometric shaped window ordered to spell out an OXO. Yeah, they actually argued that in the court of law. And let me tell you all, they got away with it. Yeah, this is the only legal building for skyline advertising in London. So there you go. Sometimes you can get away with a lot in life if you have a very clever lawyer. But a bit about London, well, we like to give our buildings really weird names. I'm sure you guys have already noticed. But over on your right, you'll be able to see a lovely curvy building with a lot of windows. And this is number 1 Blackfriars. But here in London, we like to call it the baby bump because it's got the nice. We've also like to call it the boomerang because it's a nice curve. But my personal favourite, well, we like to call it the Kim Kardashian. Yes, it's got all the assets. Yeah, Kim Kardashian even came on this very river cruise in an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and let me tell you all, she did not like that joke one bit. But we still tell it anyway. So right in front of us, you'll be able to see Blackfriars Bridge. That is 2.5 bridges for you. As we pass under, you'll soon see why. You also, as we get a bit closer, will be able to see some stonework etched into the columns. On this side, they are freshwater birds, and on the other side of the bridge, they are seawater birds. Because when the Victorians built that very bridge behind you, they believed that this crossing of the River Thames was where the freshwater met the seawater. However, modern scientists know the Thames just to be a mix of freshwater and seawater, but it is a nice little touch as we pass under. But also on your left, you'll get your first look at St Paul's Cathedral. Now this is the 5th iteration of St Paul's. The one before, well, it burned down in the Great Fire of London of 1666. The one you see today was designed by famous British architect Sir Christopher Wren. But we'll talk more about St Paul's once we're through the bridges. So as we pass under, let's give everyone a nice little wave. We might get some waves back. Hi, Blackfriars Bridge. Nah, they're all from London. They won't wave back at you. Well, we gave it a try. A for effort. Why they're here, what are their purposes, well, I'll save that for the way back. So we're going under Blackfriars train station in a second. So once again, over on your left, we get a lovely look at St Paul's Cathedral, designed by British architect Sir Christopher Wren. And a little bit about Sir Christopher Wren, well, that man had a sneaky little bit of an obsession, yeah. He had a sneaky guilty pleasure, and I'm going to tell you all. That was in fact pineapples. Yeah, Christopher Wren was obsessed with pineapples. That is because one pineapple in his time would take you back £5,000 for a single pineapple, yeah. So instead of the lovely cross you see on top of St Paul's, Christopher Wren initially intended to install a 50-foot golden pineapple, yeah. A pineapple on top of a cathedral, who could afford? As you can imagine, the planning permission, they stepped in and said, Christopher Wren, be serious. And they installed a lovely little wooden cross you see instead. But here's a little sneak peek. If you look really, really closely to the side, you'll be able to see 2 columns with golden orbs on top. And I'm going to tell you all, those are in fact golden pineapples, yes. So Christopher Wren got away with it. He put pineapples next to St Paul's. Good on him. But right in front of us, you'll be able to see Millennium Bridge. We'll talk more about Millennium Bridge on our way back. But once again, let's give it a nice little wave. Now that's Tim. We give him £5 an hour to stand there and wave for you guys. Hi guys. So I'd like to take some time to talk to you guys about my favourite theatre in the entire world. It is a lovely white brick theatre with a thatch roof on top, and it is the only thatch roof you will find in London because we outlawed it after the events of the Great Fire of London of 1666. It's also called the Globe Theatre. It was created in 1599 by the Royal Chamberlain's Men, or the Royal Shakespeare Company as more commonly known. However, this beautiful building met its fiery end in 1613, During a production of Henry VIII, someone decided that it was a really good idea to use a live cannon. A live cannon in a wooden building, what on earth could go wrong? As you can imagine, the sparks from the cannon set fire to the roof. The entire Globe Theatre burned completely to the ground. Luckily, no one was injured. However, one man's trousers caught alight. His trousers caught alight, but someone was close by with a pint of beer, chucked it on the man's trousers, saved the day. And it sometimes goes to show a lot can be solved with a little pint of beer. Now, the Globe Theatre is also the only theatre in the City of London where you pay to stand for 3 hours. You pay to stand. Standing tickets will take you back £5 to £10. But right in front of you, you will get a lovely look at Southwark Bridge. Let's see if we can get some nice waves on Southwark Bridge. There's a couple people up there. Oh, there we go. So once again, talking about beer, over on your right you will get a lovely look at the Anchor Tavern. Now there has been a pub, there has been an ale house, and there's also been a brewery at this location for over 400 years. Yes, people who have drank here include William Shakespeare, until he was barred. No one get the joke? There we go. You're going to hear a lot more bad jokes as the journey goes on, but bear with me here. We also had Samuel Pepys who wrote his Great Fire entry at that very pub, and we also had the guy who wrote the English dictionary drank at that very pub to your right. He probably needed a few pints to get through that, let me just say. We're going under a lovely train station now. So over on your right you will get a lovely look at a pirate ship. Now this is Sir Francis Drake's Golden Hide. A bit about Sir Francis Drake. He left Plymouth in 1577 to steal a lot of gold from the Spanish. Yes, he was a pirate. He liked to steal things. However, he didn't quite want to see the Spanish again after he stole all their gold. So instead of turning around and heading back to England like he should have, he decided to just continue straight and hope for the best. A wing and a prayer. He didn't know what he was doing, but luckily he did end up back in England, and he became the first Englishman to circumnavigate the globe. And he did it all accidentally, so sometimes mistakes aren't always mistakes. Now you guys, the man did commit a crime. He committed piracy. It was illegal in his time. So when he came back to the UK or England, you guys might be wondering, how did he punish him for his piracy? Well, I'm going to tell you, we in fact did not, no. Because he had made so much gold that he was able to pay England's debt 3 times over. So what Queen Elizabeth I did was she gave the man a knighthood and it called it a day, Goes to show sometimes crime can pay if you have friends in high places. So now, for a moment, you have all been waiting for the world famous, the iconic London Bridge. Yes, and I'm going to tell you all that the world famous, the iconic London Bridge is very much behind you. That simple stone structure behind you is in fact London Bridge. The bridge in front of you, well, that's called Tower Bridge. But don't feel too bad on yourself if you got it wrong, because Google itself also gets it wrong. If you put in your search engines right now, London Bridge, you will get a lovely photo of Tower Bridge, as well as, this is a really weird fact, but you'll get Fergie's 2006 single London Bridge with a video of her twerking on Tower Bridge, so like Fergie got it wrong herself, so don't feel too bad when you go. But my next talking point, you guys probably can't see. It is a bit invisible. It's in camouflage, so that explains why it's hard to see, but it is the massive HMS Belfast warship. It helped with the World War II D-Day landings as well as the Korean War. However, we wanted to take this massive, beautiful ship into retirement in 1963. We originally wanted to turn the HMS Belfast into scrap metal, yeah. We wanted to destroy it. For the Imperial War Museum, they stepped in. You can find them in Elephant Castle. They stepped in and said, no, 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 not today. And they decided to buy this massive ship. Now, I can probably imagine you're calculating the figures in your head. It is a big ship. It is going to cost a lot of money. But I'm going to tell you that the Imperial War Museum brought that ship to your right for £1. Yes, £1. You can buy a Greg sandwich for more than you can get that massive ship to your right. But it is now a lovely museum, and if you guys are interested in any of the maritime history of this beautiful city that is London, I highly recommend. So before we start talking about the London Tower Bridge, there we go, almost got it wrong myself, almost called it London Bridge. Before we start talking about Tower Bridge, I'd like to turn your attention over to your left to the Tower of London. Now this was created by William the Conqueror in 1066 and it was finished by William II in the 1100s. Now this tower has had many uses. It has been a royal mint, it has been a royal observatory, but also, my personal favourite, it has been a royal zoo. Yeah. They used to keep polar bears and bears in that very tower to your left. And also another little fact, they used to take the polar bears out on a leash and swim them in the River Thames. What a weird sight that would have been. But right in front of you, I'm sure you're taking a lot of photos. I'd like to remind everyone to stay seated on the top deck, but in front of you, you'll get a lovely look at Tower Bridge. Now Tower Bridge is a vascular bridge, meaning it opens completely in the middle. On its opening years, it opened around 6,000 times. It opens a lot less regularly now, but if you're a really tall ship and you give the bridge at least 24 hours notice, it will always open for you. That is because river traffic takes priority over road traffic here in London. So as we get a little closer, I'd like to tell you all a legend that the Edwardians believed. They believed if you wave to someone on top of Tower Bridge and you get a wave back, you get 5 years of good luck. Yeah, let's give it a try now and get our 5 years of good luck and wave at someone on Tower Bridge. This was because this was the last bridge you had crossing the city of London, and you hoped if you were a sailor in 5 years' time, your loved ones would be there to wave back at you. Isn't that cute? As we head a little closer, let's give it a try. Hi Tower Bridge. Any takers? There we go, we got one. Oh, very enthusiastic, both hands. There we go. Thanks, sir. So over on your right, you will be able to see Butler's Wharf. Now Butler's Wharf used to be an old storage container, but as modern refrigeration technology improved, it now became the place of affordable London housing. Yes, we love affordable housing. One apartment block in Butler's Wharf, well, that will take you back 1.5 million. Yeah, I said affordable, but I also said London affordable. But a little treat for our Americans on board. If you look down the river, you won't be able to see it, but you will get to Rothenheim. And that is where the Mayflower sets sail, taking the first pilgrims over to America. They also have a lovely pub down there called the Mayflower. And if you guys think you have heritage that dates back to the Pilgrim era, you're more than welcome, and they'd actually love for you to sign a little book they have in their pub. So we'll be turning around in a little second. Remember to get your phones out, get all your Instagram, Snapchat ready for the photo of the day. Use all the appropriate hashtags. Hashtag London Eye River Cruise, hashtag Tower Bridge, and this is my personal favourite. It will get you a lot of likes on your post. It has been tried and tested. Hashtag Ellie is the best tour guide ever. No? No takers? And once again, we'll be turning around in your second, and it is time for the photo opportunity of the day. A selfie with me. No? Selfie at Tower Bridge. I'll get out of your way where you take that. As we go through Tower Bridge, I'd like to tell you a little story about it. So it was 1953 and it was a very foggy day. So a bus driver, Albert Guffer, did not realise that there was a red light telling him to stop because he was driving a double-decker bus across this very bridge. And I'm going to tell you that the bridge had completely opened. So Albert Guffer now had two choices. He could either stop the bus, save every single person on that bus, very simple choice, or he could put his foot down on the pedal. And I'm sure you guys know what he did. He put his foot down on the pedal, decided to be an F1 driver, and completely jumped this massive gap. He's the only man in England to do this on a double-decker bus. And once again, good on Albert Guffer. On your right, you'll be able to see the Tower of London. It's home to the Crown Jewels as well as the Yeoman Warders, or else otherwise called the Beefeaters. Now the Beefeaters, they live and work inside the Tower of London, and they offer you guys free tours. Yes, if you ask the Beefeaters really nicely, they're more than welcome to offer you a free tour with your admission tickets. And there's also another little legend about London that people don't tell you about, that if you tip any London tour guide, you get 5 years of financial success. The Beefeaters love it, we all love it, remember that at the end of our journey. And also a little bit about the Tower of London. It used to be the place of torture and imprisonment. Yes, Guy Fawkes was tortured inside that very tower to your right. They used various gruesome methods on him, including the rack, including the corkscrew, as well as the pear. Yeah. And if you guys want to know what any of those mean, check out London Dungeons, the where we drop you off at the way back. Now once again, over on your left, you'll be able to see the Shard. Now the Shard is the tallest building in Western Europe, as well as the tallest building you will find in the City of London. It is 309 metres tall, yes, 309. And it will forever be the most tallest building you'll find in the City of London, because 309 is as tall as our aviation laws allow. So there are 95 floors in the Shard, but in actuality you can only live on 72. There are only 72 habitable floors. All that money and you can't even open a window, right? But inside you'll find a 5-star Shangri-La hotel, bars, restaurants and cafes. But once again, over on your right, it's a bit hard to spot. You'll see a tall monument with a golden orb on top. Very hard to spot, it's over on your right. And that is called the Monument. It was designed by Sir Christopher Wren as a monument to the Great Fire of London. People would head up the monument. It was also an observation platform, and they would see London regrow around them after the events of the fire. So it is 311 stacks, yes. 311. I know, because I personally counted every single one of them myself. I have a certificate on my wall to prove it. And I like to call it a monument to the Great Fire, because by the time you get to the top of those steps, your thighs are utterly burning. But right in front of you, you'll be able to see London Bridge. We didn't give it much love on the way there, but we are going to give it a lot of love on the way back. It might be a simple stone structure, but it has around 2,000 years of history. It was built by the Romans in 50 AD. Let's give everyone a nice wave on top. Later in the medieval era, it became the places of homes. Yes, you could live on London Bridge, marketplaces, and a little gruesome fact, they also had heads on a spike at the southern gate. You're probably best known to see a lovely light green roofs with a lot of flags on top, and that is the Ministry of Defence, or as we like to call it in London, the iceberg. Because what you see, well, that is just the tip of the iceberg. It's actually much larger underneath, with nuclear-proof bunkers, and has tunnels that connect to number 10 Downing Street, as well as the Houses of Parliament. So a little story about the Ministry of Defence. Well, in 1999, it tried to take the London Eye to court. Yes, it decided to take us to court. It argued that foreign spies would head up the London Eye and from the top, with their binoculars and with their telescopes, spy through the Ministry of Defence's windows. Yes, they actually argued that in court, but the court chucked it out because they said, you guys in the Ministry of Defence, all you need to do is just buy some curtains. Yeah, there you go, and let me tell you, some curtains were purchased after that tour session. But over in your right, you'll be able.
Hello and welcome to the lastminute.com London Eye. Are you ready to be part of London's skyline? Whilst you're enjoying the amazing views, the ride might stop briefly at times, just to help other guests get on. This is totally normal.
Das ist richtig hoch. Das ist noch gar nicht hoch.
Wie Beispiel hoch? Papa.
Ui.
So, 200. Papa, was denkst du? Auf und springt raus. Was hast du gesagt? 200.
Ja.
Papa, was denkst du? 86.
Keine Ahnung.
Sagen alle 100, ne? 118. Sorry. 150.
140.
135.
Ui. Hätte ich nie gedacht.
Nee, die Höhe wäre von ja.
Aber. Nein.
Na, oh. Oh. Ja. Okay.
Krass, ne? Das wird die
Oh.
Jeder Person aus Deutschland muss 1 Euro geben.
Yeah.
Wait, Mom. What?
Ich glaube, zu viel.
Oil.
Oh, look at that.
No,
What did he sell?
Getting there. That's that boat that I was on about, babe. The pub. Pub on the boat. Pub on the Thames.
Warum?
Over there, no. Pub on the Thames.
Right?
Size of that park down there, Paul, look. We live in there, look. Size of that park.
What?
Size of that park, look. Right, come on, over this way.
So, wenn jetzt aber die Hälfte überschnitten.
Ja. Es gibt jetzt 2 Schubladen manchmal. Eine Mandarine oder eine Banane? We're going right to the top now, look. Look. Big Ben. Look, there's the palace over there.
Yeah. No, that do photos sometimes, don't they? Or pictures.
Right?
Do pictures, don't they? Yeah, right, get the shard on that.
Go on, I'll do one of you in the big bed.
One.
So I can you Oh, yes, please. Yeah, if you don't mind.
Which way, sorry? What, this down here?
No, over there with
Oh, that's Hall Scars Parade, isn't it? So I don't know what the monument is beyond it. Because then you've got Buckingham Palace,
Yes.
obviously just down there.
Yeah. Surrounded by all the trees.
Yeah.
Lovely, thank you. Oh, that's nice.
And that monument down there. What's that?
Ollie, be careful, there's other people around. Put your legs, get up, sit down, please. Right, one of you all got to sit on there.
We haven't walked down there.
Small version of Central Park.
Look, babe. Soll ich mal zeigen, wo die Kollegin lebt?
Yes, yeah, I can. Yeah, yes, yeah. Yeah, I can see it,
Siehst du das Haus so hinter dir? Oder?
Ja.
Dort ganz hinten. Schau mal, wo ich hingucke. Da, wo die goldene Statue ist. Siehst du das goldene? Das ganz kleine goldene.
Ja.
Siehst du das? Nicht hier unten, sondern ganz da hinten. Siehst du die goldene Statue da?
Welche?
Das Haus dann bei.
So guys, we are now back in sunny Royston. It suddenly occurred to me when I was watching the latest vlog series from Britannia that I never end the vlogs. And I thought, and if it annoys me, it must antagonise people. So I thought I'd do an end of vlog. So first of all, I'm going to ask Mum, how have you thought today's gone, Mother? You can keep walking. You can keep walking.
Very well.
Good. You've enjoyed it?
Yes.
Good. Favourite bit?
All of it.
Apart from being with us?
The river cruise.
Okay, the river cruise, okay. So, I've enjoyed all of it. Yeah, I like the river cruise and the London Eye. It was, yeah, we were very lucky with the weather. That obviously helps. But yes, James has streaked ahead all of a sudden because he doesn't want to be in the video again. Julia?
Yes.
How have you enjoyed the day?
Yes.
Favourite bit?
The driving around London.
Yes, we did enjoy a lot of the sights by being on the coach.
Seeing places that we hadn't actually seen.
Yeah, I agree. And we enjoyed it so much that we've actually booked another coach trip to London, but at Christmas, so we'll be able to see all the Christmas lights, and also a evening boat trip on the Thames. So we'll see London all lit up. So hopefully that will be good. Thanks for watching, guys, and we will catch up next time.